Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome into Duval Daily presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for being here Tuesday, September 9th. Hopefully y'all are staying dry out there. Just got soaked out in the rain personally, trying to warm up in here. But right now, we are taking a look at reasons to believe in your Jacksonville Jaguars, your 1-0 Jacksonville Jaguars, your division-leading Jacksonville Jaguars. And of course, they're tied for the division lead. Technically, if the season ended today, I think the Colts would be in first place in the whole AFC. But tied for the division lead after 1 week. Obviously, divisional standings in general don't matter a whole lot after 1 week, but it is great to have a W on the board for your Jacksonville Jaguars, a resounding victory for them over the Carolina Panthers in week 1. We're going to get into reasons to believe in the Jaguars, and this is going to be the optimistic look at the Jaguars right now. And then we'll also have a pessimistic look at the Jaguars, I guess tomorrow, probably. We'll get that in. Kind of some reasons to be skeptical or doubtful or whatever you want to call it, right? So just kind of offering both sides of the spectrum. I lean a little bit more optimistic in my personal view. So we're going to dive into it. Really appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the channel. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and let me know why you believe in these Jaguars or don't believe in these Jaguars in the comment section below. You can also check out genjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear. Help support the channel. Look good doing it. So, number one reason coming out of week 1 that I'm believing in these Jaguars more and more, and there's several reasons, toughness. The Carolina Panthers are not one of the most talented teams in the NFL, and that's probably putting it nicely. Okay? They have some talent at spots. I think that they still need to get more talent in other spots. But one thing I don't really question about the Panthers, based on their roster and how they played last year, is their toughness. The Panthers are a tough team. They have a really good run-blocking offensive line. Yes, no Ike Mekwonu, and he does bring toughness, but even without him, that's still 4 guys out there that are tough, physical players. And they have tough runners. Chuba, Rico Dowdle. The Jaguars' trench play against kind of that mean, gritty, tough running the football approach was up to the test in a big way. They did not miss a lot of tackles. They were physical up front. They won the battles in the trenches more often than not. And that to me says something against a Panthers team that is the test. Can you win in the trenches? Because if you can, you're going to beat them. If you can't, it might be a tougher game. It was not a tough game for the Jaguars because they won in the trenches. And they brought the toughness at all 3 levels on defense. Offensively, they were also very tough. And look, the Panthers were not a good run defense last year. I don't know that they're going to be a good run defense this year, but they do have some big boys up front that are tough players. Derek Brown was back, and he did make some plays. Not enough for the Panthers to be competitive in this game, but Derek Brown, tough, strong football player. Bobby Brown, tough, strong football player. You talk about Nick Scorton coming in. He's tough. He's a big guy as well. I don't think they're like the toughest team at the 2nd and 3rd level. No offense to those guys, but at the point of attack against these big defensive linemen, the Jaguars were more than holding their own. I mean, they were getting the job done at an extremely high level routinely. So if there's something that you could probably have pointed to over the last couple years, not just something, one big thing was a lack of toughness in the trenches. A lack of, finish and strain and strength up front and throughout the roster. I don't think that that's a question right now. Again, Panthers are not one of the better teams you're going to face on your schedule. In fact, they're going to be one of the worst in all likelihood. But they were a team that brought toughness to the table last year, and the Jaguars were the much tougher team on Sunday. I think that's really a big deal. Coaching. Next up, coaching in all 3 phases. We know Heath Farwell's a great special teams coach. you knew if you've been paying attention that Liam Cohen is a really good offensive coach, play caller. Anthony Campanile, you hadn't seen him as a defensive coordinator, a play caller yet on that side of the ball, really, outside of very vanilla preseason stuff, or going back to Boston College as a co-defensive coordinator way back when. It's been a minute since then. Anthony Campanile, he dialed it up, man. He's got those guys. For me, the basic elements of this coaching staff is like the teaching part of it, getting guys to understand the concepts in the classroom, having expectations and accountability for those expectations while being able to nurture the relationships you have, and then the play calling part of it. I think I had no question about the teaching, the accountability, that type of stuff from Campanile. I really believed in that stuff strongly based on his history. But play calling was a question mark. And Anthony Campanile, he had some looks, man. And you kind of got pictures of that throughout training camp here and there in the preseason. But he was really confusing Bryce Young and this Panthers passing attack a lot. The picture was changing post-snap. You had sim pressures. You had blitzes. You had, where you got a safety rushing, but then you've got the guys you expect to be rushing, dropping back into coverage, and changing the picture post-snap and being confusing is awesome on paper and in theory. But when you can actually execute it, teach the players, have them understand, and then execute it, that is really cool. Now, Carolina Panthers, again, you're not doing that against the best teams in the world yet. You haven't seen that yet, but the defensive play calling was awesome. The offensive play calling, as expected, was awesome. But the teaching, the accountability, the expectation was all there this offseason, and they went out and got the job done in a big way in week 1. And so I do believe in the coaching in all 3 phases. I think those are the 2 things that will carry this team in a big way outside of the talent, which matters a lot. And I think the Jaguars' talent has been vastly underrated. Does that mean I think they're going to go win the Super Bowl? And we don't need to put the cart before the horse, right? But this is a talented football team. They have 4 or 5 talented pass catchers, at least. One with a all-pro ceiling, another with a who knows what the ceiling is for Travis Hunter. Brenton Strange is a weapon, as Robert Hainsey put it. He is a weapon, both as a receiver and somebody who can just take people out in space. They're talented. The quarterback is talented. The running backs are talented. The offensive line, I think, is talented enough to be good. Is it talented enough to be great on the interior? I don't know. It's talented enough to be good. Defensive line is talented enough to be very, very good. Linebackers, same thing. Corners, same thing. Safeties, I think they're talented enough to be good. They're smart, good communicators, can make plays on the ball. Great special teams talent. It's a talented football team. And that talent and coaching and toughness is going to be tested over the next several weeks. Definitely when you look at week 2 in Cincinnati, week 3 against the Texans at home, week 4 in San Francisco, week 5 against the Chiefs. And are all those teams as daunting as maybe they were when the first schedule came out? It's too early to say, but they do have injuries they're dealing with in different situations, each of them that they're dealing with. No doubt about it. George Kittle is not going to be available for the San Francisco 49ers. They've got a myriad injuries they're dealing with. Joe Mixon is not going to be available for the Texans. Xavier Worthy, who knows, for the Chiefs. Rashee Rice not going to be there. The Bengals, their defense came out and did well against the Browns, but it's the Browns. Offense didn't look great against the Browns, but the Browns do have a really impressive defense. So that is going to be a really fascinating week 2 matchup that we're going to talk about a lot coming up. But I really do believe in the toughness, the coaching, I think the talent is good enough. I really do. And then there's a couple things where it's like we didn't even see the number one threat on offense get going at all. Brian Thomas Jr., like, yeah, he scored a touchdown on the reverse, the end around. But they still moved the ball with ease without even being able to get Brian Thomas Jr. going. I think that's a good sign. I mean, because when you can get him going, then what? Right? They shot themselves in the foot repeatedly and overcame it. The ability to overcome issues is something the Jaguars have really struggled with in the past. To overcome, bad down and distance, all that stuff. They've had big issues with that in the past. And so I think that there's a lot of things you can say looked really good. And I think the things that didn't look good are within your own control. And you can get those things right. The penalties, they're all coachable. They're all fixable. Couple misses by Trevor, Brian Thomas Jr. having a drop, these things fixable. Absolutely. So that's the optimistic, teal colored glasses view on the Jaguars. I really do think the coaching, the toughness, and the talent are there, though. And I think then you start talking about Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. can get going more. That's optimistic. Ability to reduce the penalties. That's optimistic. We'll talk about the pessimistic side of things later on, but enjoy this. Enjoy it, folks. It was a good win. It's a really good start to the Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli era here in Jacksonville. There's a lot of reasons to believe in this football team. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.